What can you do with the light of reason? Reason is behind all inventions, all scientific discoveries, all mathematical proofs, and every human achievement. Without reason, there is no language, no thought, no sight. Reason leads to freedom from the errors of religion, from the controlling assumptions of the state, from limiting beliefs in any society. Reason reveals truth. In your hand, reason gives you great power to expose flawed thinking. You can use the light of reason to illuminate any area of inquiry you decide to investigate. But can reason reveal truths about the most fundamental questions of life? It is commonly thought that reason is too frail to do so. After all, philosophers have been debating the big questions for centuries, yet they disagree about everything. You have seen people use reason to support crazy theories. They rationalize their irrationality. When it comes to fundamental questions about existence, philosophers have a track record for failing to establish anything. We lack empirical tests. The great philosopher Bertrand Russell said about his own field of philosophy that philosophy is what you don't know. So we should be intellectually humble. We should admit that we do not know when we do not. Intellectual humility is indeed a virtue. But is it true that we cannot use reason to establish anything about the foundations of existence? Is the project of developing a sound worldview futile? Perhaps the problem is not with reason, but with how we use it. Human beings are capable of using the light of reason to seek truth, but we can also use it to defend prior convictions, win arguments, or, as academics are sometimes tempted to do, pursue a career of being clever. When we use reason as a weapon or a shield, we rarely see truth for ourselves. We fence off ourselves from reality, and we contribute to the great confusion. The courageous, however, follow reason wherever it leads. Unfortunately, not everyone is so courageous. Even honest truth seekers sometimes limit their power by searching only for flaws in bad arguments. It does feel good to expose a problem with someone's argument. It is safer and easier to be a mere skeptic. Yet those who only aim the light of reason at exposing flaws will only find flaws. Perhaps we can miss the discovery of sound arguments if we never look for them. In the field of philosophy, I actually see much progress hidden inside academic halls and journals. Part of the problem is that philosophers tend to advertise their disagreements, while scientists display their consensus. But what does reason itself reveal about the limits of reason? It turns out to be quite difficult to establish the limits of reason without contradicting reason. For example, it is sometimes suggested that only scientific statements can be justified. But then what about math, logic, or this very statement about the nature and scope of justification? How can it be justified? Suppose we say that no statement about fundamental reality can be justified. Then this very statement, which is itself about fundamental reality, cannot be justified. The problem here is that any claim about the limits of reason itself depends on reason. If reason cannot reveal anything about God, for example, then reason cannot reveal that reason cannot reveal anything about God. You see the problem. I am not suggesting that reason has no limits. We should say that we do not know when we do not know. But we should also be careful not to assume that we cannot know a thing just because we do not yet know it. Reason has great power in our hands. Who knows what we can do with it? I am convinced that anyone who uses the light of reason to investigate the foundations of existence will be able to see more than they had. That's been my experience. With reason in hand, you have great power to develop an increasingly rich, reason-based worldview. The truly experienced power of reason. You must use it. You must use it to test your views of the world, to investigate new things, to explore reality all the way down to the depths, to find out what you can find out. You must Try. Who knows what you might discover? Good luck.